Hi, welcome back to my video channel. I'm Lizzie and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator for Bolton and the northwest of England, Lancashire area. My blog is lizzieshouseofcards@blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how to do, let me just zoom in, this pretty colouring on this stamp here. I don't know about you, but when I first saw this stamp I fell in love with it. Then when I got it, it sort of sat there and I thought, don't really know what to do with that, because I wasn't really very confident with my colouring and I thought I wasn't going to be able to do it justice. Now, I'm not an expert by any means, but I really do like this stamp and I was determined to make it work. So I'm going to show you today just so that you can get over the fear and just see how easy it is to colour this stamp. Okay, so what we're going to use today, we've got the stamp, which is Apothecary Art, and it comes as a two bundle like this. There's 2 packets of stamps. They are £30.95 if you got them in wood mount, or £24.95 as a clear mount set like that. As you can see, I have eventually got round to using them, some of them. To cut out the shape, they do actually come with a matching framelit set as well. This is the Labels Collection framelets. There you go, you can see them. And these are £22.95. It is a bit of a bargain bundle, I think, because these are really good for all sorts of occasions. And there is actually another sentiment stamp set, which I couldn't tell you the name of right this minute, but it has the matching words like this, which you can fit in here. They're designed to fit. So, like thank you ones and things like that. Anyway, back to what we're doing. So I'm going to take out this stamp here, pop it on my block. Now, one thing I discovered, I did originally stamp this in basic grey because I thought that it was going to be just right for this stamp. Well, as it turns out, there is actually a better colour, I think. So there's my piece of very vanilla card. And what I'm going to do for a slightly more subtle effect is stamp it with crumb cake, which I think gives it a bit more of a natural effect. It's not quite so harsh. Yes, I have used this piece of card before, you know me, I never throw anything away. Okay, so we'll stamp that on there. Alright, and then I must remember to put my lid back on my ink. I shall just clean off my stamp with my stamping scrub. Wet on the left, dry on the right, and look, nice clean stamp. It's a really good way of taking care of your stamps, is that. Okay, so now what you'll need is, I've used the square from my Stamp-a-Majig, but you could use a tile or just a little piece of acetate. And you'll need rose red, which is what I've got here, and gumball green. Okay, markers. So what we're going to do is take your rose red first and pop a little colour onto your acetate or your Stamp-a-Majig sheet, and you'll need a blender pen. These come in packs of 3 and are absolutely brilliant. Okay, what we're going to do is just pick a little of the colour up with your blender pen. I shall zoom in here a little so that you can see a bit better what it is that I'm doing. Okay, so once you've picked up a little colour, start from the middle of the flower, because that does tend to be where all the colour is focused on a flower, and just colour it in like that. Now this will give you a fairly steady stream of colour throughout your flower. Okay, so they'll all look fairly dark. Now what you can do as you go around, as the other areas are drying, is add a little shading, so you can just go over the areas that were a bit lighter than you wanted. And as the ink is brushed off your pen, it gets lighter obviously, so that's when you get to the edges there like that, it creates a lighter effect. See? I'm just going to show you very quickly. I'm not going to do the whole thing because it will take ages. I'll just do the top half. Well, it won't take ages, but probably longer than you really want to watch. Okay. And the great thing about these blenders is you can add colour, add extra depth of colour with the shading of them if you really want to, just by adding a touch more colour like that. Okay, so you get the hang of that. Now you will see that the end of your pen is discolouring slightly. Please don't worry about that. It happens. It will stay that colour with a few of the darker colours like this one, the more vibrant colours. But you know, it's not going to cause any problems for any future colouring that you're going to be doing. You just colour it off like that. See, it's almost disappeared already. Right, so then what we're going to do is use, oops, already done that one, is use your gumball green and colour a little gumball green onto your acetate or your Stamp-a-Majig sheet. And now begin picking that up and just colour in all your leaves. You don't have to be particularly careful. I have gone over, as you can see, ones that are already stamped and they're quite solid colours, just because it gives them a little, you can see it through the brown kind, the crumb cake. See, like that. It is a beautiful stamp set, this, and I really do need to use it a heck of a lot more than I already do, and I think I will be doing. Of course, you could do this with your watercolour pens, but you would need to do this on watercolour paper if that's what you're going to do. I think that's a flower, isn't it? Oh well, we'll make it a leaf. Okay, right, so now you've done your flowers, what we're going to do is just take, I've actually used baked brown sugar for mine, and just take your baked brown sugar pen and just dot around in the middle of the flowers just to give a bit of definition in the middle there. Now I'm not colouring it because it's a bit harsh, the colouring, so dots just gives it a little more natural, kind of a seed effect. And there you go, and that is how to colour it in. So when you've done top and bottom, you can then cut it out using your framelits, and that's what you'll get. Now the middle, just there, I've actually stamped it, the whole thing again, and just cut the middle out. Or I've stamped my sentiment on first. You must do that first, you'll find it tricky otherwise. Using my Stamp-a-Majig, lined it up perfectly with my Stamp-a-Majig, which, as I'm talking about it, I may as well show you how to do it now. So, you take your stamp and pop it on your block, and it really doesn't matter how straight it is on your block. I'll zoom out a little so that you can see a bit better. And then you take your Stampin' Majig sheet, colour in your stamp. You can see I'm using pens. I do actually use my pens a lot for stamping. Unless it's something I have to stamp a lot of, I actually find it a lot easier. So this is how your Stamp-a-Majig works. You line up your stamping sheet, this sheet here, right up to the corner of your Stamp-a-Majig. Okay, so I'm going to bring that in and see, can you see there? It's right up to the corner. And then you do the same with your stamp and push it down. So your stamping block is right in the corner, push it down, and now that's stamped in one place. You then take your sheet and you lay it over exactly where it is you want to have it stamped. Okay. Now, like I said, it doesn't have to be straight, because you can see here this is definitely not straight to my piece of card. It doesn't matter, as long as whatever is in the middle there is straight. You then line up your Stamp-a-Majig against the corner of that. Okay, and now remove your sheet. You don't need that, but keep your finger on your Stamp-a-Majig, don't let that move, and don't let your card move. And then you just make sure your stamp's the right way up, the right way round. Again, push that into the corner and stamp down. And there you have your sentiment stamped perfectly where you want it. Cool, huh? There is a little trick. If you do happen to realise that you wanted to stamp onto something and it was too small, your piece of card, and when you've put your Stamp-a-Majig on, it's over here and you've got this down and you're trying to peel it up without shifting your card that's underneath, just get a bit of low tack masking tape or sticky tape and pop it on the back of this sheet just to hold it in place, and then it doesn't wobble about when you move your plastic sheet out of the way. I hope you found that really useful today. It's a technique I do enjoy using with these pens, and it works brilliantly with the Secret Garden framelits as well. Pop back again soon for more techniques and tutorials, and have a lovely crafty day. Bye!